No matter what, you have to be the distance away from the bag that works for you. We're going to talk about adjusting for distance when you throw your roundhouse. You get a lot of, oh man, I'm just too close, or I'm just too far. It's usually not true. It's just a matter of you not understanding how to use your footwork to adjust for distance. So we'll start with, they're just too far. First of all, we've talked a few times about the bounce step, and that'll help you cover some ground, but I'm talking about just being able to step into the kick. Instead of trying to do that, like if I was here, I'd step on the classic slightly 45-degree angle, and then I'd be able to throw my kick and get good contact. But I'm this far back. So when you're a little further back, you step more towards the opponent. You still want to open up your hips a little bit for the rest of the kick, but again, if I stepped on a 45, I might hurt my toes. But if I step a little more towards the opponent, easy way to cover ground. One of the implications of stepping more up the line is that you will hit more to the side. So you're not likely to hit them like in the front. It's okay, you can, but you'd be forcing it. You're more likely to actually come around the outside of the bag. So if you're a little further back, pad holders often know how to do this. If they don't, that's fine. But if the person's a little further back, they hold the pad more to the side. Okay? We'll see how that works on the other side. So if I'm a little close then, it's like, man, I'm way too close to throw a kick. Well, you're not. It's where you put your foot before you throw the kick. If I'm here, I stepped, I don't know, what do we say? This is about 1 meter away. I can be a little bit further, I think, for length of my legs. So I'm about a meter and a bit away maybe, okay? And look, so now I'm not 1 meter away. But what I do is I step more laterally instead of towards the opponent. I can even step a little bit backwards, and I'm about 1 meter and a bit away. You'll get really good at just adjusting for kicks if you practice this. So if the pad holder doesn't understand they're supposed to be a little further back, doesn't matter. Same with opponents. They don't necessarily stand where you want them to stand. So you have to learn how to do this because you're gonna throw a kick at one distance and then it's gonna change even while you're throwing it, right? So I'll step a little more laterally and plenty of space. No matter what, you have to be the distance away from the bag that works for you. So if I am further than the distance away, I step closer. If I'm too close, I step further. Obviously not backwards, but just a little more laterally. I'm the same distance away from target as I was when I stepped into it, and you can fire your kick from there. Another way to adjust for distance is to just throw the kick slightly differently. So to make my point, I'm barely hitting with my foot. I'm not gonna do any footwork. All I'm gonna do is pivot the way I should, and all of a sudden I'm almost at high shin. Unpivot, far away, full pivot, quite close. So if I go to hit a pad and the person's further back, I know I'm gonna be required to throw that full pivot. That is, how you get the most power in your kick, but you don't necessarily have to do it to get a kick that is good enough. So I'm really close here and I'm not gonna be able to pivot. If I do, I'm gonna end up hitting the bag with my thigh. So instead, I just don't pivot very much at all. I hold my hip back, I don't pivot my heel. Well, you're gonna lack power. Sure, I'll kick you in the liver with that kick and you can say, that didn't hurt. I bet you it'll hurt. In both cases of being too far or too close, again, you can use the bounce step to adjust for distance. So already did this earlier in the video. I said, hey, you're way too far away, bounce step. And if you're really, really far away, you bounce step and then you make sure you have full pivot and that gets you even closer. So we've already kind of covered how to get closer from far distance. Now, the lateral bounce step, as we call it, is when you move sideways relative to the person you're hitting. So if I'm standing here and I want to make space to kick, I can just step back and hit them. But you want to get a little more juice on that, then I'm going to bounce step this way. What's gonna happen now is I'm gonna kick them more to the front of their body or face, definitely going for the face. But I still made plenty of space. So I'm really close. Maybe I hit them with a hook, and I can throw that kick. You can do that on the other side. Throw the hook. I was way too close, or at least it appeared that way. You can still get that kick off, even from really close range.